Hi, happy Wednesday and happy day 8. We are going to talk about eating out and some tools I have for how to navigate when we go out to eat or when you get takeout and have that at home on those busy nights when you really can't even make a meal in a minute with your own food. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the lighting a little better. Right, but before we do that, before we talk about healthy eating on the go, we're going to talk about, or we're going to announce the week 1 winner. And I'm going to do that as well as kind of share some information with you that I said I'm going to be sending out at the end of this week. I'm going to share a little bit more of that. So, all right, somebody jumped on. I don't know who's on live. You're going to get to see who the winner is. If you have any questions too, please put those in the comments or give a little hi in the comments or a thumbs up, a like, so that you can hear me and see me okay. So I got all the names of the people that have been participating the most over the last week. So they posted either every day or most of the days, and I put those names in this cup. So we're going to draw that winner, and the winner's going to get a gift card to their choice of Amazon, depending on which country they're from. They can pick which country the Amazon card's from, or Thrive Market if you're here in the States. It's an excellent online ordering company that you can get really great priced deals on health foods and bulk items and things like that. And even self-care items like candles and sea salt or bath salts and things. So I love Thrive Market. So if you're in the States, that's a really nice one if you want to pick that and try. So you're going to get a $25 gift card to Amazon or Thrive. And if you're in Argentina, I can work with you if you're not able to access Amazon. I totally understand. And I'll be coming out in November and we can work out a deal and get you something. All right, so here we go. Week 1 winner. Let's see who it is. Line! Congratulations. I hope I'm saying your name right. Sorry if I'm not. Congratulations on week 1. You've been such a superstar with your food prep. Oh my gosh, yesterday you had an epic day of food prep and just your amazing combinations and really creative, healthy meals that you make for you and your family. So thank you so much for all you've been doing in the group, and congratulations. Yay! So message me privately what your preference is. I don't know if you're going to be going home to your home country anytime soon, to I think Norway, if you want an Amazon gift card for there, or we can strike a deal for something that I can either do with you online or to bring to you in Argentina when I come next month, or this month. Now it's November already, can't believe it. The time's flying. So I'll be in November in Buenos Aires at the end of this month. So people who are in Buenos Aires, keep a heads up. I'm going to be organizing a Body by Banner meetup to do a workout probably in Plaza Alemania, as well as I'm trying to get some details sorted out to maybe even do a day retreat in Vicente Lopez, to do like a weekend day, like Saturday or Sunday, yoga and fitness and healthy eating day long retreat. So keep an eye out for that. Okay. Other announcements that I wanted to go over before I go into the eating out tips are on Friday, as mentioned in the email when you first signed up, I will be sharing details about the discount you guys will have access to, early discounted access to the Magic Makers Movement Club. So it's a fit lifestyle club for women, a monthly club that you can sign up for, and I've had it closed. I haven't opened it up to the public for many months. We've been kind of just getting my bearings with it. I wanted to really have small numbers at the beginning to really feel comfortable and do well with the coaching and to get used to making the videos and everything. So but now I'm really excited to open it up. I feel really comfortable and happy with how it's been going, and been tweaking a couple of things and ready to share it with the larger audience. And we'll share that first with all of you, a special discounted 20% off rate. So all the details for that will be coming soon. If you want a sneak peek or just kind of get an idea of what it's like, you can look on my website, the Magic Makers Movement. There's a whole section about that. And the Work With Me section of my website as well will share some of the details of the levels. So I have like a workout only, so you get just access to workouts, no coaching or no group access. And then the Magic Makers Movement Club is the kind of the main thing that I'm focusing on right now, the most people that I'm feeding into. And that's where you get the support of a group, coaching from me daily, and monthly themes. We get 4 brand new full-length or demos of workouts and PDFs and workout calendar, all of that to support you with your exercise, and then daily nutrition coaching Monday through Friday. I'm in that group answering questions and supporting everyone, similar to how you've been having it in the Nutrition No Time Challenge. So several of the ladies from the Magic Makers group are also in the Nutrition No Time Challenge, so you can ask them some questions too if you have them. So Cynthia and Juanita and Megan, and I'm probably forgetting some others, are in it as well, but you're welcome to probably shoot them a question if you have it, and they can give you their experience of it. But we'd love to have you in it, and you'll get early and discounted access this Friday. So I just want to mention that because I threw that out there at the beginning, but haven't really talked about it at all. I'm really excited about it. It's a really fun group, and it's just a really nice supportive way to keep working on your healthy eating, and if you wanted to add an exercise, and just working on your mindset around things, around how we eat and how we approach exercise. So it's not just a quick fix sort of thing, it's a lifestyle. All right, let's get into eating out and takeout. So quick convenience food and how to stay healthy with those options and make meals in minutes when you don't have to necessarily do all the prep when you order in or eat out. Obviously somebody else is doing the cooking. So that's the problem, not the problem, but the challenge is when we relinquish that control over to somebody else, you don't necessarily know what they're putting in the food or kind of all the ingredients and how they prepare it. So you lose that control. So I'm going to give you some tips though to deal with that. And the number one thing that I think is a challenge with eating out, besides losing that control, so you don't really know exactly how much oil and butter and salt and all that stuff that they're putting in it, or what kind of oils they're using, is to focus on the portion size. Because when we eat out, it's notorious, I know, like especially in the United States, the sizes are so huge. Everything is super sized, and so we're just not accustomed to knowing exactly how much of that we should eat. And so that's what I want to focus on a bit today, is portion size and how to start to educate yourself a little bit and to maybe recalibrate yourself, because it's been studied too that we underestimate what we take in. So if we would happen to write down everything we're eating or put it into an app like MyFitnessPal, studies that when they've shown what people actually eat, they've weighed it and measured it and everything, scientists in a lab, versus what people are recording that they eat, is underestimated by 37% at least 37% underestimated. All right, that's a big difference. And the reason I'm mentioning that is not just if some of you probably don't even care about your weight necessarily or have weight loss as a goal, and that's totally fine. I'm not saying that you should always be focusing on your weight and about how much you're eating and calories and all that. That's not the point. The point too is with portion size is that even if you have a healthy weight right now, is to maintain that weight. So that's actually a even more important goal than people who need to lose weight. Is as a society, it's super hard to lose weight once you've gained it. So as a society, this is one of the things I learned in my training over the last couple of weeks in the weight management training I went to, and also at the conference I was attending for nutrition and dietetics. So I want to share this information with you because that's the biggest health concern or push that they're encouraging us as dietitians and as doctors, physicians, is to really focus on actually helping healthy people or people with a healthy weight to maintain that weight. So I'm sharing this information with you because if we eat out a lot, if we start to get more and more convenience foods into our diet, it's difficult to keep those portions correct so that we actually can continue to maintain our weight. So portion size is important, and not just for the calories, but also for you just don't want to go overboard on the salt and the sodium and the saturated fats or even trans fats sometimes when you eat out that you don't know what's in your food exactly. So maintaining an appropriate portion size is helpful for just overall health. Our bodies get overloaded with too much when we overconsume, and then it can put us, it has to take all that work of digesting and eliminating anything extra that we've taken. So portion size is important. So that's kind of my number one thing. So eating out, and when we do take out, these portion sizes that you maybe get are bigger than we need. So my number one tip for kind of recalibrating is to go, if you don't have already, but to get just basic cup measures. And I know in Argentina they don't really use cup measures. In other countries they use more ounces and things. You could get a measuring cup. I'm going to share a visual tool when I finish, a link to that, an image as well that you can use as just using your fists and your fingers, you know, like a teaspoon is just the tip of your finger, of your pointer finger. A tablespoon is usually about the size of your thumb. So some of those tools that you can use to eyeball and estimate. But I really encourage you, especially if you're trying to lose weight, to measure your food and do that for a day, just a day. And to get your measuring, because a half a cup of pasta or quinoa or rice is actually a lot smaller when you put it on the plate, and you're like, oh, maybe I'm usually putting on a full cup or whatever, and that's fine. You're not saying that you shouldn't have maybe a full cup of those things sometimes, but just so you know exactly how much you're taking in, and to help recalibrate your eyes to see when you see something on a plate, when you eat out, you'll actually be able to estimate it a little better and have a better sense of whether or not that's what you would normally eat or if it's more. Does that make sense? So you just taking a day when you're at home to measure your food. Obviously, don't take the cups and things with you when you go out. That's when you use your kind of visual tools of your fist. Your palm is sort of the size of a recommended protein, like a fish or chicken or steak or meat. So the palm of your hand is about 3 ounces. If you're a man, it's probably a little bit more. But in general, and usually men that are bigger need more, just calories and protein and everything. But so about the palm of your hand is about 3 ounces, a recommended serving of protein. So using those estimates when you're out, but I would say my number one tip is to actually, when you're home, for a one day, to use measuring cups just to measure out your food, especially like the carbohydrates. That's a big one where people underestimate. You don't necessarily have to measure your vegetables, because really, the more the better. The more vegetables we can get in, especially those low-carb veggies, the better. But measuring things like dairy, your meats, your grains and starches and those things, crackers, anything like that, you want to actually take the time for a day or two to really measure it, to recalibrate and really educate yourself on what serving sizes are. You can also use a food scale if you have one, but that's a little more tedious. But some people do like to do that, and you're welcome to do that if you have one and you don't have access to measuring cups like in Argentina. So that's the number one thing, is measure at home. Take the time to do a day or so of really getting your sense of what the sizes are. And that's going to help you when you go out, because then you'll be able to visually look at the plate and your bowl or whatever and just have a better sense and start to trust yourself a little bit more by having that knowledge base, so that you can be like, this is, and just to remind yourself, okay, this is what I would normally maybe have at home and feel satisfied with, instead of distorting it because just because you're out, you feel like you have to eat it all because they've served you a larger portion. So then you can always, of course, take the rest home, have it later, have it like a whole other meal. Usually when you get a serving at a restaurant, it's for 2 to 3 meals. It's huge servings. And the other night when I went out, and I posted that picture I went out for a quick dinner with my husband, and we went to this new pub in town that has its own brewery and things. So I knew I really wanted to try the beer. So I knew that was going to be my satisfaction thing. So I chose that instead of having that and a burger, because I love burgers. But I was like, okay, that's a little much. I don't need both of those things. I'd be satisfied with a beer, and then enjoy like a nice salad. So I got that farro and Brussels sprout and kale salad and added the chicken to it. So with the salad, they had options. They had a dinner size, and then they had a small size, a small or large. And I asked, when I ordered, I said, well, what's the difference in the small and large? Like, how much of a difference in size are they? And I'll tell you in a second. But she's like, well, the salad is about this big, and then the dinner plate is about, and she's like, you can't even see, like, it's like this. I'm like, that is huge. I don't need that much. Even though it's a salad, it's going to have grains, it's going to have cheese on it, it's going to have all these things. It's a rich salad. So I was like, okay, I'll get the smaller one and I'll add the chicken. So I paid extra for chicken on it because I wanted more protein. And even then, you guys, it was huge. I probably ate half of it and was completely satisfied. If I had had more, I would have been stuffed and had too much. And my husband ate part of it. We still left probably a quarter of it. So it was like, just to give you an idea, you don't need to eat all of what you order. And sometimes the feeling you get, I know this, at least if you're like me, you don't want to waste food, or you don't want to waste your money. Take it home if you can. Share it with a friend. Intentionally order less at the beginning so that you don't run into those feelings of waste or feeling like FOMO, where you feel like you have to finish it off. So that's the second one, is clean plate club. No more clean plate club. You don't need to finish off your plates. When you're at home, you usually can portion up exactly what you want and not waste. You can always usually go back in the kitchen and make more, add to it, heat up more if you need it. When you're out, it's served to you and it's usually a huge amount. So you want to make sure that you don't feel that pressure, and that's just kind of takes time and thinking through and intentionally ordering maybe a little less, but just telling yourself like, I don't have to finish this. It's actually a disservice to me to finish this plate or this amount of food because it's so much than it is to finish it. It's not a service to me to finish it just for the sake of saving that money or of feeling like I'm not wasting something. Because if you overeat, then you're doing yourself a disservice by not feeling well, by adding extra calories that maybe you're going to feel guilty about, or that you're going to feel like you have to exercise off, or you're going to have to cut back later, and that's going to potentially cause you to gain weight, and that's never feels really great if you don't need to. And it's actually, when you think about it, finishing your plate is actually sabotaging yourself and not really helping you. So even though you might feel those momentary feelings of like guilt about waste, or if you can't take it home, or momentary guilt about maybe spending more money than you meant to on the food. So I try to order less, and then you can always get another appetizer or something else to add to your meal or a side. So to start with less. Our eyes are usually bigger than our stomachs when we order, and then you can always go back. So that abundance mindset, you can always go order more. There's more where that came from. You don't have to feel like that's the last food you're ever going to get access to. So number 1, take that time to measure at home, educate yourself, get familiar with serving sizes. Number 2, that FOMO, that fear of missing out, that sense of guilt and needing to finish your plate. No more clean plate club. So working from an abundance mindset that we can always order more, that there's more food where that came from, that's not the last thing that we're ever going to get access to, and enjoying it. And that leads me into my last point. The third point is the first bite rule. And the first bite rule, I actually came across this from Nagar Fanuni, so I can't claim credit for it, but Nagar Fanuni shared this, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true. Sometimes when we're eating something delicious, and I don't know, for instance, last night we had Halloween here, so candy, and I don't usually keep candy around at all, but we had Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, and I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, but I don't really love them after the first one. Like that first bite is just like, oh yes, it tastes so good. This is like nostalgic, and I just love the taste of it. Or ice cream is another one. In Argentina, there's amazing ice cream, and when we go back, I'll always try and have some ice cream because I love it, and it's a treat, and it's just an experience of the culture. And so when I'm eating it though, that first bite, if you guys agree with me, like give me a thumbs up, because like usually that first bite of a decadent food, or food that we get when we order out, like maybe some delicious appetizer, it just tastes amazing, and it should, and we should enjoy it. I want to emphasize that. I want us to enjoy our food, and that's what all about the satisfaction booster, all about the satisfaction score, getting that score up to 10. But really paying attention to when the food stops tasting as amazing as that first bite. And some foods will taste amazing for the whole thing, and you maybe will finish it all, and there's an amazing chocolate cake or something that you're sharing with a friend, and you end up finishing off. Awesome, enjoy it. If you are still enjoying it, and you decided that that's an indulgence you want to have, and you're not trying to lose weight or whatever, and be really more strict on yourself, then go for it. Enjoy it, and don't give yourself guilt over it. But if you're eating something that doesn't really taste very good, we've all had those things. And no offense, but in Argentina, the sweets there are, in general, apart from the ice cream, pretty much crap for me. They're not very good. And I would so often, if we went to a birthday party or whatever, like the cakes from the bakeries would be not that great. And so I'd try it. And then sometimes though, you catch yourself just kind of eating something to finish it, especially when you're around company, maybe you're distracted, you're out. But really try and get mindful and pay attention to whether or not it's still tasting as good as that first bite. And maybe that first bite wasn't even that good, and so you realize, I'm done. It's not worth it. I don't need to finish this. It's okay. There are times, I know, sometimes with family, where you feel like you have to eat something, and out of sort of social obligation or family obligation, and emotional attachment to certain foods. And that's a whole other thing that I think we can talk about. But and there's an article I want to share with you from the Girls Gone Strong website that goes over how to handle food pushers and people who push food on you, especially family members, and how you can kindly deter them or just, redirect them, and just emphasize how you're making choices for how you want to feel your best. But when you're with friends and you're just making your choices, you're not feeling pressured or anything like that, to just really take that time to enjoy each bite and pay attention to when it stops being as amazing as that first bite. And when it stops tasting as amazing as that first bite, that can be your kind of like clue. Okay, that's your sign. Okay, stop, pause, maybe stop eating it altogether, put the fork down, or maybe take another bite, pay attention, and just go like that, so that you're not just mindlessly shoveling food in, and again, getting in those big portion sizes that they tend to serve us when we eat out. So those are my 3 tips. Let me pull up, see if there's any questions coming up. So ask any questions if you have them. Let's see. Cynthia wrote, such a good point about maintaining rather than losing. I can attest to that. Yeah, so it's a lot easier to, and I think she's referring to at the beginning when I mentioned about, it's a lot easier to try and maintain our weight instead of trying to attain a lower weight or trying to attain something. When we're in attainment mode, when we're trying to attain something, it takes a lot more work, a lot more effort. And that could be, for instance, a lot of people understand the idea of trying to lose weight. Most people have maybe at some point tried to diet, and they know that takes extra energy and effort and focus. And on the same time too, it's not all about weight loss. If someone's trying to gain muscle or trying to improve in certain aspect of their fitness, for instance, right now I'm trying to improve and be able to do pull-ups, like to try and do a full pull-up or to try and do full push-ups. It takes a lot to attain that, right? So that level of effort and energy and focus is heightened, and it's hard to do other things. That's your focus. But so it's a lot easier to just maintain rather than try and attain. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's why I think it's important to pay attention to portion sizes. Even if right now weight loss isn't an issue for you, when you're eating out, it's really hard to kind of dial it back in because the portions are so big that they serve us, and usually the food's really rich, and it triggers those happy hormones in our body. We're like, we want more, we want more, we want more. But so that's when it takes that time to just use certain tools that you can bring out and that you feel prepared. And that's measuring your food, just taking a day or two at home to measure your food so you get really clear on how much a cup is, how much a half a cup, how much those things are on your plate. Then when you're out, you can use your visual reminders of the palm of your hand, your thumb for a tablespoon, your fingertip for a teaspoon of like butter, for example, your fist for the amount. If you think about the circumference of your fist, that's about a serving of pasta. Usually not what you get at a restaurant, right? It's usually 5 times this amount. And granted, you could have like 2 fists and that would be fine, and that can be a serving for you. It's just to keep in mind sort of what you see on a label. For instance, of a serving of pasta is for half a cup of cooked pasta, and that's about the size of your fist. So when you have that on your plate, though, you're going to have about 5 times that serving, I would guess. So doing that, the second one is like just getting that abundance mindset. The second tool is like not falling into having to do the clean plate club and finish everything on your plate. If you're truly hungry and you're truly enjoying it, of course, that's fine, but just pay attention to whether or not you feel like you just have to clean your plate and finish everything. Shift into abundance mindset, and that you can order more if you need to. Maybe order a little bit on the low side to start, and then add if you have to, if you're still hungry, and go from there. And then the last thing is to stop when it stops being as delicious and amazing as that first bite. So really pay attention to how satisfying that first bite of something is, and then when it stops being so delicious, maybe that's after the second bite and you realize this is really a crappy dessert, I don't really need this, then stop. Or if you really are enjoying it and you're feeling satisfied and you're enjoying it with someone else in their company, and you have kind of just made that intention that this is going to be something special that I'm going to indulge in, then don't add guilt to it. Promise me, okay? Don't add the guilt. doesn't do anyone any good. It really doesn't. Oh, I thought it was going to cut me off. The signal got kind of weird for a second. All right, that's it. Congratulations again to Line. I hope I'm saying your name correctly. I'm just really impressed with all of you, though, and the posts that you're doing. So next week, next Tuesday, or yeah, I guess I'll have to do it on Tuesday. That's the last day of the challenge. I'll announce probably at the end of the day the winner of week 2 as well as the grand prize winner. So the winner of week 2 will get another Amazon or Thrive gift card, $25 gift card, and then the grand prize winner will get 1 month access to the Magic Makers Movement Club. So check out details about that on my website if you're curious about it. There's some women in the group too. You can ask them questions, and you'll be getting more information and discounted access to the club on Friday. Have a wonderful day, you guys, and shoot me any questions. I don't think there's any other ones showing up here. Oh, here's one. Cynthia, hi. Is it ever a good idea if I know I am going out to dinner to skimp on calories during the day so I can indulge at night? I would say no. And the reason being that if you skimp and you arrive to that meal starving and famished, yes and no. So I'm going to tell you 2 things. I'm going to say some things, yes, maybe you can cut back on some carbohydrates and other sweets and those things early in the day, but I would say don't cut back on vegetables, don't cut back on protein. Keep those very essential things in your diet that are going to give you energy and fiber and protein. But you don't want to really ever cut back on those things. But you could cut back on maybe extra fats that you add to your diet or extra carbohydrates. Maybe you have a little bit less rice or pasta or something with your lunch or your breakfast. But I would never want you to go into those meals out at dinner completely famished, because then you're going to way more likely to overindulge and repeat just that sense of all or nothing, where it can be really easy for a lot of women to fall into. I know I've fallen into that myself. So I would say some mindful paying attention so you can balance it out, but never feel like you're going to be skipping a meal beforehand. I would never encourage that. And also too, if you overindulge, because that happens, sometimes we overindulge, it's totally fine to maybe cut back a little bit on what you eat the next day or the next meal, but never skip meals. Please don't skip meals. It's going to, again, set you up for the likelihood of a binge and then restrict pattern, or all or nothing pattern. So if you happen to binge, or if you happen to overeat and overindulge, then just reset. You have one choice away from the next meal being healthy and filling up with vegetables and things that are going to help you feel good, lots of healthy fibers, and drink a lot of water. So that would be my recommendation. I hope that answers your question. I don't see any more coming up right now. But if you do have questions though, or if it wasn't clear, please go ahead and shoot those in the comments, and I'll make sure to answer those when I see them in a little bit. All right, have a good day, you guys. Ciao.